welcome back. My name is Lizzie Luna, and today's pick a card question is if your ex could say something to you, what would they say? Messages from your ex. So this is a little bit more of a specific reading. This is for like no contact or breakup. So we have 3 piles to choose from here. We have pile 1 with the toucan, pile 2 with the lovebirds, or bird couple. They're not really lovebirds. And then pile 3 with this red bird here. So if you need any more time to make your selection, feel free to pause the video. There will be timestamps down below. So this is pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. I'm going to go ahead and start with pile 1. So I'm going to try to get it from the point of view of your person, what they would like to say to you. So we have Page of Swords, Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, the Keeper of Scales in reverse, Sacred Purpose, Wisdom, Surrender Your Need to Be Right in reverse, Rebel, and a Chakra card. So we have here, so this is your person here. So your person is currently busy. Like there's a lot of restless energy attached to your person. They're looking back at like texts and conversations that you've had, maybe to get a better idea of what happened between you two. A lot of the time though, they felt like they were walking on a tightrope. Like it's like the communication wasn't there, or as open and free as they would like to be for the both of you. At times it just felt like you were walking on eggshells, and it was difficult to get your point across. Like as much as like you would read back in the text, like, you know, trying to read in between the lines, like there was just so much left unsaid. So even with everything that you communicated, it still felt like it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough clarity with your communication between you two. And they're thinking back from all out of all the sweet moments that you two shared. Like at one point, maybe they felt, or you felt like they were your knight in shining armor. There is definitely a lot of chemistry, but they don't want to hold you back because it's just kind of in and out energy. Like, you know, it's like saying sweet nothings. It's like getting a bouquet of roses here. You know, this guy's holding some freshly cut roses, but it's like, what is sustaining these roses? You know, like where's the water, where's the vase? Like even if it's just like for a week, like how are you going to keep these roses alive? Like don't even have that, you know, much less roots. Like nothing was solidified, nothing was grounded, and nothing grew because of it, because nobody watered it, nobody took care of it, nobody planted the seeds. And even though there was a lot of chemistry and romance, that wasn't sustainable, not for a long term anyway. So they're looking back and they're regretting that. Like, man, like I should have done things a little bit differently, you know, looking back and still thinking back on the sweet moments, but they're kind of regretting, you know, not taking root and creating sustainability. So then we also have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So they definitely saw your value. And they were really focused more so on like their work, their responsibilities. And even though they saw your worth and they would hate to see you with somebody else, they know that you deserved more and you were reaching out for it. You know, you gave, you contributed in this relationship. But they just, it never took flight. Nothing got grounded. You know, there wasn't enough clarity. And they didn't want, like, even though they were maybe a little bit selfish trying to keep you around, they weren't selfish enough to, like, you know, keep you just to themselves. So even though that was really difficult for them to do, that's how they ended up showing you how they respect you, how they love you. And then we also have Sacred Purpose. So when your ex thinks about you, they remember the light that you are. It's like you were an earth angel to them. Like they saw you as walking divinity. They saw you as connected to your higher self, or, you know, like keeping strong, like a strong moral compass. And they valued the way you carried yourself, because that taught them so much about how they should carry themselves too. So you taught them a lot about love and respect, and they will never forget what a light you were to them. We also have wisdom here. So they think about you often when they hear music, especially if it's music that you've played together, or if like they were like an artist, they would play music for you. Like there was a lot of hidden meanings in those lyrics, like a lot of hidden messages for you. And they wanted to, they wanted to see, like, we have like some swans here. So like they valued monogamy. They did see you as their other half, as their divine counterpart, but it just wasn't enough because there was just no long-term vision here. So they regret that. They regret not putting more effort in, essentially. We also have the Keeper of Scales in reverse. So because it's in reverse, it says fairness and balance. So there is definitely, like, they understand how unfair things were to you. Even though they try to even things out, they never aligned. You were giving so much more than they were in certain ways, and they recognize that. They feel guilty about that. They created this imbalance, and even though they tried their best to, you know, tip the scales so that you both could win, create a win-win situation, it just never weighed out. It never evened out. And they could see that now. They could see how unbalanced everything was, and they just feel so guilty about that. And then we have surrender the need to be always right in reverse. So what this is saying to me is that you, like, let's say like you got into an argument and you were so sure, like you're just like, oh yeah, like I'm so sure this is it. I have no proof, but my intuition says this, you know, I have this feeling. Like they were saying that you were wrong, but since it's in reverse, they're letting you know that even if their like ego can't take it, like their pride can't take being wrong, they're telling you right now that you were absolutely right about what you were thinking. And they will never admit this because of their ego, because of their pride, because they have a lot of growing up to do. But you were definitely right about something. They regret it. You know, they regret not being able to be open with you as you were to them. They saw that quality in you, and that was like the best part. Like your authenticity was their favorite. So yeah, they have a lot of regrets, but there's a lot of immature energy attached to this because we have the Rebel here. So in a lot of ways, they're still being really immature, and they wanted to feel free. They wanted to do their own thing and not, you know, answer to anybody. Even if that means like hurting people along the way in pursuit of that liberty, in pursuit of that freedom, you know. And they can acknowledge that you deserve better. And that's why they set you free, because we have like, you know, it says the rebel, but then we have like this person that's just kind of like breaking away free from the chains, and that's how they kind of saw you, you know, like as if you were chaining them down, even though that wasn't the case. That's just how like they see their individuality, and they're like, nobody can tell me what to do kind of deal. But it was just so destructive, you know, like even if you were adding to their life and benefiting their life in some way, enriching their life, they failed to see it because they just weren't ready for it. So we have the chakra card. It says solar plexus, the warrior. I embrace my inner strength, power, and resilience, and I allow myself to shine. I unfold my full potential as an empowered person with a true sense of who I am. I grow in consciousness, and I overcome and transcend life's challenges. I need the warrior inside me for the journey ahead. I am courageous and in moving forward. So there is just like a lot of friction here. There's like a rebel without a cause kind of attitude. But they're kind of stubborn, and they want you to know that their stubbornness is not a reflection of you. It's just where they're currently at and what makes them feel best. And they're gonna have to go it alone. They're gonna have to face these battles as a warrior on their own. And until they, you know, go through some battles and get a little wounded, and that'll humble them, they will look back with regret, and they won't realize what a gift you were up until those moments of adversity. But who knows when that, when all of that's going to happen. So that's why they didn't want to make you wait, So even though they were selfish, they were immature, they had no long-term vision for you, they still cared enough to set you free. So at least maybe that could provide a little bit of closure to you. I hope that resonated. I'm going to go ahead and move on with pile 2. If you're liking what you are seeing, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe, because I intend to post a lot more videos, a lot of different questions. And if you have any suggestions as far as like videos, like subjects or content, please feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. So I'm starting with pile number 2 now with the bird couple. So this is messages from your ex. So we have the Queen of Chalices, 5 of Wands, 4 of Wands, the Rainbow Prince, surrender, outdated beliefs about yourself in reverse, miracles, and integration, and 2 chakra cards. And this one was in reverse. Okay. So starting with this one, the Queen of Cups, they want to say they're sorry for all the fights that they had, for making you maybe drink and cry yourself to sleep sometimes. Sometimes they blamed you for being too emotional, but there was actually nothing wrong with you. They weren't fully healed from the past, so they put their own shortcomings on you because it was easier for them. So there was a lot of selfishness attached to this and a lot of heavy emotions. They recognize how smart, how intuitive, and how emotionally intelligent you were and you are, and it actually scared them because they weren't there, even though they wanted to say and believe that they were there and, ready for it all. Like your capacity scared them away. And we have the 5 of Wands here. So they want to say, I know it seemed like we were just playing games with each other, like tit for tat. But instead of one-upping each other, we should have been focusing on building a future together. We went through so much conflict, and it was nearly impossible to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I saw so much potential in you, and I'm sure you saw so much in me too. We should have been building together instead of trying to destroy each other. And then we have the 4 of Wands. When I first met you, I could see myself marrying you and having a family. I saw so much of myself in you, and that's why it's so heartbreaking to let you go. Parts of me want to rush back to you and say it's not too late. Parts of me want to grow these roots and become strong and reinforce each other. But maybe that's foolish to believe because so much has happened already. It's almost like a miracle needs to happen in order for us to be together again. But part of me just wants to hold on to that, wants to hold on to these memories that we have. I'll never forget them. Sometimes when I'm alone, or when your ex is alone, they think back on all the fun that we've had, and you've brought so much color into my life. My life no longer feels that way. Everything is so dull. I'm trying to hang on to my faith. Faith that this is exactly what is meant to be, and I'm doing everything that I should or that I could have. And trying to find balance within myself right now. There's a lot of conflicting thoughts and energy, or maybe even people in my life. There's so much duality happening that I'm experiencing constantly, and I will never forget you, and I will always love you. So no matter what happens, you're always going to be with me. Surrender to outdated beliefs in yourself in reverse. You actually are much more spiritually evolved than me, but I don't have the heart to tell you. I'm not ready because I don't have the heart to tell you that I'm not ready because every fiber of my being wants to be with you. I hope you can forgive me one day. You're actually much more advanced than they are, much more mature, and they couldn't even have the heart to tell you that because they're just not even close to where you're at. So it just hurt them to even acknowledge that for themselves. So they have a lot of healing to do. They're in denial of a lot of things. We have the heart chakra card in reverse here. So it says compassion and forgiveness. I have compassion for myself and for those around me. I let go of anger, resentments, torments from the past, and I do not give my power away to those involved. Forgiveness is a gift that I give to myself. I forgive myself for things I feel I could have done differently in the past, and I remind myself that my response could have not been any more evolved than it was at the time. I am compassionate to those in need, as this shows them that they are not alone. I practice this by listening, sharing, understanding, and being of service. So because this was in reverse, like maybe you guys didn't forgive each other, maybe there's like resentments that you're still holding on to each other, and like because of that, they're still healing, you know, they're still going through it. But they are healing, so that is a bonus. And then we have this one, sixth chakra, third eye chakra, intuitive perception. I know that what my intuitive senses tell me are true. I open myself to the truth that is within and around me, and I know that it is there for me to receive. I practice developing my intuition, and I know that it is a major aspect of who I am. In the stillness and the silence of meditation and contemplation, I will experience and know the truth. So, you know the reality of what happened in this relationship. And even though maybe they were denying you of what was going on, like you know in your heart, like that gut feeling that you have, you know actually the truth of the situation. And even if you didn't receive that forgiveness, you can forgive yourself for, you know, trying your best and not giving up until, you know, there was nothing left to work at. So I hope that brought you some closure. These piles are kind of sad. But I'm going to be moving on to pile 3 now with this red bird. So, messages from your ex. Here we go. Last pile. We have the High Priestess, the Emperor, the 3 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, Death in reverse, Completion in reverse, the Lady of the Mirror in reverse, 2 chakra cards. I have a lot of cards here. Soul Radiance and Surrender Stress. Okay, so messages from your ex. What would they like to say to you? So they want to say it was like, it felt like it, like your meeting, like when they first met you, it was like divinely orchestrated. When we first met, everything seemed to be at the right place at the right time. It felt like we knew each other from lifetimes ago. You were a breath of fresh air to me. There wasn't anyone else that I ever met that was anything quite like you. And there was a sense of freedom attached to it, and I loved it. But I'm sorry for not putting you first. I'm sorry for being selfish with my needs and putting myself before you, even when I had the capacity to give to you, even when I had more than enough. You gave so much to me, and I couldn't even recognize it because I was so focused in my material world and wanting to make money, wanting to build my empire, wanting to make a name for myself. It was more important than love. I was just so stubborn to see what a good person that you were in my life. And I know you wanted to build. I know you wanted to build a future. I wanted to build a future with you too, but I acted so slowly. Maybe I'm too late. Maybe it is too late. I wanted to make sure that you checked all of my criteria and all of my boxes. I was so focused on what we didn't have that I completely lost sight of what we did have, and you ended up feeling taken for granted. I recognize this. I am so sorry. I know what a great partner you were to me, and you could have been. And I still think of you when I hear some of the music that we listen to together. If you see me post songs on the internet, on social media, there's hidden messages in the music that I play or share. So I want you to know that those messages are for you. But there's a lot of me that doesn't want to like even admit that we're over. I have been feeling depressed and unmotivated to do much, really. But I would never let you see me at my worst. I'm too proud for that, and you're too precious of a soul to burden that much. I want to see you happy, even if it's without me. I'm sorry. I love you. Then we have completion. There will forever be a part of my heart missing because of you. You were that missing piece of the puzzle. I will never feel complete without you. I'm sorry for judging you when all you wanted me to do was accept you for who you were. I'm sorry for not giving you the same amount of receptivity that you gave me. You always accepted me for who I was. I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even give that same to you. I acknowledge how stressed I made you. I influenced you to be. I noticed how stressed out I made you. So that's why I'm letting you go. So you actually have a chance to be happy. It says, take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let stress go as you come back to your center. I will take all of our experiences and rise from the ashes of the foundation we built. I have learned so much. I don't even recognize myself anymore. I will never forget you. And then we have these chakra cards. Throat chakra, connect with spirit. I develop a quiet mind that allows me to tune in and get in touch with my higher self or my spirit. I listen for the guidance that is there waiting for me to hear. I am open to the truth, and I welcome spiritual inspiration from others. I will benefit greatly by practicing meditation and stillness. I ask for inner guidance to assist me in getting more in touch with my spirit. I know that if I ask for guidance, it will be given. So they had a lot of trouble speaking their truth with you, and they could see that, you were so flawless with your communication that it intimidated them, and it made them just focus in their material world. It made them just say, well, this is easier for me, so I'm just going to focus on that. So they kept their head down, even though they had so much opportunity to make things right, to clear things up. And then it says, expressing my feelings. I allow my emotions to be fully experienced. I acknowledge my feelings of grief, anger, or fear, and I make a conscious effort to express my emotions or resolve them within myself so that I can move forward freely. I let the unconditional love experienced in my heart be expressed through my voice and my creativity. I let those close to me know how much I love and care for them. I forgive all those who have done me wrong in the past, as well as forgiving myself, as I could not have responded in a more evolved way than I was able to at the time. So they're looking back, they're looking back at all the things that they could have said that they didn't say. And now they're like really acknowledging that, and they're becoming more humbled because of it, because like the people in their life now that they have, like they're expressing gratitude, they're like, oh, I'm so glad you're in my life. Like stuff that they weren't doing before. Like you opened up their heart, and you opened up their heart so much that it's like they can't help but express it, So like, you've definitely taught them a few things, and they're humbled through your experience now. So I hope this resonated. I hope this brought closure to some healing hearts. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.